Good afternoon and welcome to Dillon Dialogue. This is the December version of Dillon Dialogue, which will be our last show of the year. It's been a very good year for the town of Dillon. And I'm Tom Breslin, I'm the Dillon Town Manager, and I have with me Brad Bailey, Council Member, and Skowyra, Mayor Pro Tem and a Council Member. So we would just like to extend the best wishes. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving, and best wishes for the holiday season to all our viewers and all the folks around Summit County. It's been pretty busy again in Dillon in December, so we just had our annual lighting of Dillon. So
yeah, absolutely. If you haven't made it out to the lighting of Dillon before, friends, it's a terrific event. The last couple of years we've been hosting it in conjunction with the Dillon Community Church. So first and foremost, we gotta say thank you to everybody over there at the Dillon Community Church. They made for an absolutely terrific venue for our annual lighting of Dillon ceremony. Again, if you haven't been to it in the past, it's great. Our public works guys spend weeks up in the cherry pickers, setting all the lights so we can have a nice downtown. And then, like I said, the Dillon Community Church has been nice enough to host the last couple of years.
Yes, they have.
Just a spectacular spot. It's a lovely church they have. We get the middle school, the Summit County Middle School choir in there, singing all the carols and all the holiday songs. Of course, Pug Ryan's. They serve hot dogs. We get Lake Dillon Tavern in there doing pizza. It's a terrific event. Of course, Santa is always there in attendance. So this is something we've been doing for many years. Again, most recently with the Dillon Community Church. The DBA has also always supported this event, and it feels like the holidays in Dillon. That's for sure.
Yep. And if you haven't been able to get out there, we have the Festival of Lights goes on every Friday night. We have bonfire. We also have arts and crafts over in the Summit Historical Society, and we also have puppet shows at the Lake Dillon Theater for the kids. So this continues on. What were the dates?
I can tell you what the dates are. They're the 11th of this month and the 18th of this month, and then I think we have a new time slot after Christmas, which I think is January 8th. Which is a new addition, as I believe, so that would be fun. So we would suggest that obviously you come down and join us, and then you can also check the Town of Dillon website for all those locations and details.
Yeah,
great.
The bonfire is a fun time, or the bonfires, I should say. Great time.
Only one at a time.
Only one at a time. Yeah, I think you need a permit for that otherwise. Yeah, it's terrific. It's of course, who doesn't love a bonfire? You get some nice, we get tourists and locals alike out there, which is terrific. Santa makes an appearance from time to time. And then, of course, to extinguish the fire every single night, we have Lake Dillon Fire Rescue's finest come out and put on quite a show.
Yes, and that's an event in itself.
Exactly, absolutely. Yeah, it's a terrific addition to our town park set of events as well. We get everything set up out there in the town park and shows off a different side of the town park.
You get me all excited about Christmas already, just hearing you talk about it.
Yes, and Kirsten Anderson and her event staff and the public works guys have expanded the lighting. We have some what would you call it, illuminated animals and decorations on the backstop, and so we've expanded it a little more and more, and we're going to continue to grow it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. All right, well, this is our last event of the year, so we thought a little bit of a recap would be in order. Actually, Dillon had a very good year, as we're finding out pretty much everybody else in the county did, as far as, you know, the town's run on sales tax, and sales tax has been up. Actually, when we wrote this, we only had the September numbers through September, and for September we were up 19.4% year over year, which is $100,000. And just prior to the taping of the show, we got the October numbers, which put us up 24% year over year, and in real dollars, that's $80,000 over last year's collection at that time. So that is really good for the town to have that kind of money, because we like to reinvest it back into the community in the town of Dillon, and we have a lot of projects on our plate, and having that additional revenue stream enables us to make the roads better and develop, advance, and rebuild some of the things that we have around town. So
yeah, and in addition to the maintenance that you're talking about there, Tom, in terms of roads and events and things like that, of course we're able to reinvest quite a bit into capital projects as well. We've got all sorts of capital projects going on right now. We mentioned the town park a little bit ago. That's something that we're looking at, of course, over the next couple of years. We've been spending quite a bit of time on what we want to do in town park. In fact, we were just down there the other day with the Dillon Valley Elementary and the Lake Dillon Preschool. It's a pretty neat process, but we're a bunch of adults, and it does seem like these days you want to bring in the kids as well and see what they want in a park. So we went down to the Dillon Valley Elementary and had the preschool and the Montessori school in town come to town hall. But that's sort of an ongoing project with to improve the town park and get the kids' ideas.
Well,
pretty neat.
Good to get the users.
Interesting
Absolutely.
stakeholder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you wouldn't.
They're the key stakeholder. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yep. Like last year, what we do is our finance director, Carrie McDonald, she looks over the total revenue streams that we have from multiple sources, and then we try and take a percentage of that and devote it towards capital. And the number she's been working off is about 26% of the sales tax revenue we collect, we put towards capital. So next year, we have some projects coming up that we set out already for. Well, of course, the budget is now done and put to bed, and it's been approved by council at the last council meeting. So the projects are laid out, and the capital's been appropriated for a bunch of projects. Lou, you want to talk about some of those?
Yeah.
Fun projects.
Yeah, a lot of really fun projects. That's right. We've, of course, been talking about the amphitheater master plan. So all of you at home are familiar with the Dillon Amphitheater, the Lakeside Dillon Amphitheater. It's just a spectacular venue. It's unparalleled, frankly. And it's been serving us very well for 25 years, some number like that. It's about time, at least in our opinion, that we start looking at that and looking at reinvesting in that and making it bigger and better. Of course, keeping the model that you're all accustomed to, which is predominantly free entertainment every weekend. And we're looking to expand that to different nights, not only Fridays and Saturdays, but maybe expand that to Thursdays, Sundays, Tuesdays, whatever. And potentially somewhere along the line, look at bringing in some bigger acts, perhaps that we would charge a nominal fee for. Again, not to scare anybody at home, the model will stay the same, free entertainment in Dillon.
Yeah, the idea, of course, is to get quality entertainment, and
Yeah.
if we occasionally have to do a per fee show, that might be appropriate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, those are early ideas too, because we're just working with a consultant now that we engaged. I think we spoke about this a couple of episodes ago. That we've engaged an architectural firm to look at this, because there's a lot of things that we need to do down there. We need to get the restrooms up to speed. We need better concession stands. We need better ADA, Americans with Disability Act access.
Facilities for the performers.
Yeah, we need a green room. We need things like that to make it, to upgrade it. It needs a facelift. It's 25 years old, and it's our greatest amenity in town. I think between that and the marina are things that we have down there that we really should keep our eye on and make sure that with the economic times being good, that we invest the money wisely in that. So
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Absolutely.
We're also working on a bunch of other things, project-wise.
Yeah, all sorts of parks. We talked about the town park master plan process just a few minutes ago, but we're looking at park signage. We're looking at improvements to our existing disc golf course, and then all sorts of infrastructure type stuff as well, repaving some roads, fixing some water mains, some of that exciting stuff. I know Bob Evans down at the marina is looking at a few more boats for this season. That would be a capital expenditure as well. So we have plenty of places to spend the money that we're blessed with this season. It's been a terrific year, as Tom said. We're doing great. So.
A couple other things that I know that we're also working on, as we've always, of course, as marina being one of our great amenities, is trying to get better access from our upper hillsides down there.
Absolutely.
So I know we're going to do a couple set of stairs.
Yeah.
One probably from the Marina Park condominium complex down to the marina. We're working on those designs. And then I think we're talking about redoing some of the stairs a little bit west on Lodgepole Street that go down to the toward the Denver Water Board land. But again, the whole idea is to get our guests and our residents down to the lake.
Yeah, absolutely. It's exciting.
So that should be an exciting project. You look at that and you go, well, I'm just going to put a stairway in here, but just not quite that easy all the time.
Not at all.
So,
There's some rules and some topography that are in place that'll be challenging.
A zip line's always an option, Tom. We could always do a zip line.
that'd be interesting.
Yeah, sure.
Go along with that.
It gets you
Bring
one
that
way.
up
though.
in January.
Gets you
Louis.
one way,
Gets
you're
you
right.
one. You were talking briefly about the marina. They had an excellent season this year.
They did.
I think you guys have seen the numbers, and I've seen the numbers. Whether it's the economy, whether it's the improvement of the marina, we've spent a lot of money on infrastructure, on major infrastructure the last couple of years. But Bob and his staff, and again, the general economy, had overwhelming numbers this year, and that's where you see some of the requests that we will either purchase or lease some new boats because that rental program has worked out really well.
Yeah, it's been terrific.
Yeah.
Done a great job down there.
So really what it all boils down to is the town of Dillon financially is in a pretty solid position, and we seem to have rebounded very well from the dip that began in 2008, and everybody seems to be on the back end of the coming out of that. So that is great news for not only Dillon, but the overall economy in general, particularly here in Summit County.
And of course, with the economy improving, yes, we have additional funds available, but we certainly don't go out and spend them willy-nilly on any project that comes up. We have a fairly capable finance department in town, and they are very good at husbanding those funds for other days in case, well, it will happen again. We will have an economic downturn. So we tend to save some of these dollars also for those kind of days.
Yes, we do have significant reserves.
Yeah,
Not
we do.
significant, but we have ample reserves going forward should we hit an economic downturn. But we also have very well thought out 10-year capital plans for both roads and other capital projects. And we also have 10-year capital plans for our enterprise funds, which include the marina, the water tank, and the joint sewer authority. So we're in a solid position in all of those things right now.
Correct.
Knock wood, so that we stay there. And I think responsible planning on our part, and we'll make that happen.
Keep doing it. One of the other facets of a growing economy is that we have a number of new businesses that opened up. I know we have Dickey's Barbecue that is now fully open. If you haven't been there, go check it out. It's a nice big room with lots of choices for food. That one's fun. We also have, I believe it's right next to it in the same center, Denver Mattress has opened up.
Yes.
Across the highway
store.
there
Yeah.
in the Sam Brown
Correct, that's right, across the highway.
Yeah, right next
That
to
is
Natural
correct, yep.
Grocers.
We are also looking at Miller Company, that is the tenant manager for the City Market Center, is looking at developing some of that property right in front of the movie theater. Those are tight sites, and they've got their work cut up for them as far as development, but I think they're working on plans to bring some retail pads of some sort, again, because of the economy. I know we have, even though we have a marijuana moratorium in place until next year, I believe we have 2 new retail stores opening up.
That's correct.
No, we have 2 and a third one that will open up shortly.
That's correct.
Correct?
Yes. Yeah, we have 2 open already, and 1 should be open by the end of the year.
Right,
So,
and those are always good sales tax generators, of course. And then I think that's all the only new businesses that I know of that have opened up recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that Miller project in front of the movie theater that you're talking about, that's an exciting plot of land, of course, right there on Highway 6 and immediately adjacent to the Dillon Ridge shopping center.
Mm-hmm. Very visible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very visible, and I know at least the initial layouts that we're seeing would open the door to several businesses.
Not too many, but several.
Several. Yeah.
They have, but they have four buildable sites up there, so that's what they've shown so far. One's across the street and adjacent to the movie theater parking lot.
Correct.
And the other 3 are on the Highway 6 side.
Correct.
So that's exciting development. Actually, there's also been another project that just passed through P&Z for some development in town, which I won't get into the details of because council will be reviewing it on January 4th. It's a major PUD, and that'll be a level 4 level of review. So it has already gone through P&Z, and now it has to go to the council. So that's potential for excitement there as well. And
I'm looking forward to see that one.
Yeah, it'll be exciting, and it sort of goes hand in hand with the other redevelopment and development that we've been looking at with town land in the town core area, which of course we're still in the process of looking at and reviewing and all that. But
right.
It's a very exciting process. I know many of you at home have been into our meetings about this replatting of town land. Much of the land that we're talking about you'd be familiar with as blacktop, as parking lots in downtown Dillon. And effectively we're looking at those different bits of land, and we're trying to see what would be the best fit there. So we're nosing into a whole new process that we just had a great conversation about the other night, Tom, moving forward with the replatting of these town-owned parcels.
Yes, as you recall, I know you recall it, as you do, Brad. You were on P&Z at the time.
Correct.
We did replat 3 of our lots on the Labonte Street side, and we put out a request for proposals. We call an RFP. So we put that out to see what the development community would bring us, and we did get some interest from 2 parties. And although the applications were at different levels of interest and completeness, we extended the deadline, and those will come to the council as the Urban Renewal Authority, which is that'll be in this probably we set the deadline for any additional submittals till late January, so you guys will see what's available there. And you can make a decision. So right now
we have some interesting options.
Yes, you could have some interesting options, and the beauty of that is, the process is totally public. Nothing's being done behind the scenes. Whatever gets brought to the council, the public can see it at the same time. And when we do a presentation of what we have, and the council has certain things that they can do at that time, they can accept one, accept the other, reject both. You know, they can do whatever they want. You know, as long as if they find that this type of project fits with their vision for the community, then they can decide to accept it, or they could repost it, or, you know, they have a lot of options. So if the public's interested in this, please make an attempt to come to our meetings at the town hall on the 1st and 3rd Tuesdays of every month, and you can keep yourself well informed.
Yeah, I would like to stress that point, that the public nature of this process. Please come to our meetings, check out our town website, and make sure you're up on this process. This is something that we want everybody's feedback on, and we want your participation in. We have every intention of building and developing a better downtown Dillon. We don't necessarily have the exact answer for what that is. We want your help and your opinions as to what we want in our downtown with our town land. We see this as a heck of an opportunity to build up the downtown core area, and to make to give our residents and visitors more amenities in the downtown core area. But we do need your help in this process. We need your feedback along the way. I know at a meeting last fall, we heard from a lot of you, and we took that all on board. I know town staff has been reaching out to all of you who were at that meeting and following up with you on your concerns about this process. But please get involved and reach out to town staff and council alike. That would be great.
Yeah, and I can just comment on that also, because I've been heavily involved in this a little bit, as we all have. But the town has a really unique opportunity with these parcels that we've carefully identified as, call it, available, that the town would be willing to part with under fairly strict scenarios. It goes through a pretty tough process. And as these guys have mentioned, we put it out there for public input a few months ago, and we've actually backed off a little bit. And then, as you mentioned, we reached out to the immediate stakeholders and neighbors, and we are also seeking some professional help as far as architectural and possibly some development ideas to bring these selected parcels, if indeed these selected parcels that we're talking about are truly appropriate, which some of the professional help may help us with, in a reasonable timeline to get them back, in theory, if they're ready for platting in the spring or even later toward the summer of this coming year. I think we just all realize we do want to take our time with these parcels. We want, again, as you mentioned, Louis, everybody's comment, good, bad, or ugly. We'll throw it around and we'll hash it out.
Absolutely.
And it's a very unique situation for the town to be involved in redeveloping its own land. And we want to make sure we do it right, obviously. The end goal, getting some lovely, appropriate development in our downtown core, which for a lot of reasons hasn't quite kept up with other developments around the county, and we're trying.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a heck of an opportunity. You're absolutely right. And it's an exciting process that we want everyone's involvement with. So please reach out and get involved.
Yeah, and we, based on, we had these lots, give everybody a little historical perspective. We had these lots up for replatting, and we held public forums at the town hall. And then we brought them up, people still had some concerns. So like Brad said, we stepped back and took another look at it, and we set up a timeline. It was for going forward. And so in January and the last meeting in January and the first meeting in February, Council is going to review the guiding documents, comp plan we have, other studies that we've done, which a lot of them have similar and overlapping goals for that particular area. And Council's going to review those along with staff and say, okay, what are our priorities in this particular area? And establish what we want. And during that time, some of the things that have been outlined in that, the staff is going to be working with the Economic Development Advisory Committee to further things like sign regulations and streetscaping and objectives in that area. And paralleling that will be an outreach by myself and the Marketing Communications team, Kirsten Anderson, and our town engineer to the development community, whether that be local or in Denver, or we want to reach out to some responsible developers
and get their ideas
about, hey, this is what we have, what can go here. And then we're also looking at other things in the background to that, the workforce housing issue. It's just so much interrelated stuff. Density, the college has issues. So we're trying to get everybody's input and get some good goals that we can all agree on, and then get the development community to tell us if they can help us build stuff that addresses those goals.
Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of land. We have limited parcels that are available, and we want to do it right.
Yep.
And that's what we're trying to work on.
So that's the plan from January till June, and then we'll decide with our goals set and the input from the development community whether the time is right to replat those parcels that we've already had surveyed and laid out.
We'll have a lot more knowledge by then.
Yep. Yeah. So that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, it's a solid plan, solid process.
Well, it's the end of the year recap, so we could go over some of the stuff that we
Sure.
did in 2015 with the taxpayer money. So, and we did accomplish quite a few things there, and
Yeah.
we're looking forward to another good year of projects. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, one of the most visible things, of course, every year we have road reconstruction, we have all the infrastructure type improvements that perhaps to the untrained eye you overlook. Something that's super visible that we were able to do this year, of course, with those digital marquee boards, those the signboards that we have up in town right off of Highway 6. Those of you who have cruised through town, you've seen them, and I think they're terrific. They came out. There was a concern when we were going through that process.
We had a big concern.
Yeah, there was a concern that we'd all of a sudden start looking like Vegas, and we're a ways away from that, folks. Our digital marquee boards they're tasteful and they're informative. I think they've done a great job. We were just talking about it today, but the turnout at our Lighting of Dillon bonfire and the actual Lighting of Dillon event at the Dillon Community Church, terrific turnout, and we think a good reason for that is how well Miss Kirsten and Matt Miano were able to pub that event with the use of our digital marquee boards. They're really sharp. The picture looks great. We can advertise our summer concerts. We can advertise the winter events. All sorts of things without having one of our staff go out there and with those old sticky signs like you see at the gas
telephone
station.
poles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Fight the elements. It's a much better way of doing it.
Yeah.
I feel really good about the way those marquee boards turned out.
and we've done some personal marketing in the town at events and concerts, and we track where people find out about the farmers market and where they find out about the concerts, and you'd be surprised at the percentage of people that pick up that information from that sign.
Yeah.
And when that sign was static and stick up letters,
Yeah.
that information you would never get numbers like you're getting now. And it's colorful, and it's good too. You'll see this winter probably that we'll be using that sign. How the highway gets out there, so that sign's another asset to give the traveling public
Traffic advisories and such. Yeah.
information that they can find useful. So
Absolutely.
we'll be doing that. And I just want to digress. You talking about capital projects, and the council so far is going to put on a ballot in the April election the question about removing. Right now, we have 0.5% sales tax dedicated to road reconstruction projects, just road reconstruction. And the voters approved $20 million in bonds for that project. And right now we've borrowed $10 million, and you can only borrow what you can pay back. So we're at our payback capacity. And that approved ballot measure ends in 2033. So right now we're starting to getting up against that. If the sales tax revenue was sufficient for us to borrow more money, it'd be difficult for us to do so because we're constricted in the repayment timeline.
Bonding restrictions.
Yeah, so it's just like if you take a 20-year mortgage or a 15-year mortgage, the payment's higher on the 15. So we would run up against that if we borrowed money. So we're going to put the council's approved going forward with a ballot measure that will remove the sunset provision of 2033 going forward, and it would also allow the town to use that for maintenance of those roads, because even the roads we reconstructed several years ago, they of course have a shelf life where they have to be resurfaced and depending on traffic volumes and road construction, and so that'll be something that's coming up. So
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll have plenty of time to talk more about that, but that's a basic service that we can provide in town is well-kept and safe roads.
Correct.
And it costs a heck of a lot of money to do that. It's a staggering amount of money on blacktop. So that's something that we'd love to see get through. We'll have plenty of time to talk about that going forward.
Just this year, the reconstruction of Anson Drive, which finished the road reconstruction in Corinthian Hills, was a $2 million project.
And that was a short segment of road.
And it's not a through road. It's a road used in that community, in and out. So
well, we need to get that done. The condition, that road was really an outlier. Scott O'Brien and the rest of our public works staff do a bang up job staying on top of these things. That was our outlier in terms of it was in really bad shape. Ensign Drive was. I'm thrilled that Dan and Ned and all those guys got that taken care of this summer.
If you look up the hill from Corinthian Hill, I think you can see that big green new tank that's going up on the hill.
Absolutely.
It's part of our new water district storage.
Yeah.
And it is a big tank. I know the town has been planning on funding that for many, many years. Drive up there, look at it. It's pretty formidable, and it's something that Public Works, I know, has been after to correct for contingencies and for water needs for the community, such that we don't have any blank spots in any of our planning. And I'm thinking that's going to go into use here in January. Or
Yes,
February.
it's just about completed now. There's a punch list, as there always is with a project like that.
They have to fill it.
Yeah, and then they have to fill it, and then it will be online. And the other tank had really lived its life. It was
Correct.
40 to 50 years old, and we needed to upgrade. The
made
good point about that is we of course borrowed the money against projected revenues in the water fund, and we really were able to do that because the responsible planning that the town had done over the past 10 years put them in a position to borrow money and be able to pay that back without putting a mass increase on the end users. So
Correct.
that was very good. So they borrowed the money, we had the money to pay it back, and really the only increase we had in water or sewer, I believe, is just a minor 2% in volume usage
Correct.
on the water side. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Which
great.
hadn't been upgraded in a while, as far as I understand, those rates. Yeah.
oh no, and
Yeah.
going forward, we did a study with a water engineering firm to give us an idea of what we're going to need going forward, and they were quite convinced that we can do it. We can be sustainable capital wise and stuff with very, very moderate increases. Almost like cost of living kind of stuff. So they're very low.
Yeah.
And we did a bunch of other projects.
Yeah, we had a great summer, I should say great 2015 in terms of park improvements. Of course, we talked a few minutes ago about the Town Park Master Plan. This spring, we completed the Marina Park improvements, which I'm sure many of you at home have had a chance to see. And that is a spectacular venue all of a sudden. It's always been nice, but between the marina and the amphitheater, it's just such a nice link between those two amenities, right on the North Shore of Lake Dillon. And the Public Works guys again did a terrific job with the landscaping and all the. It's a beautiful spot. If you haven't had a chance to see it yet, we have some new terracing. Some
Even
great
in the
little
wintertime,
picnic.
go for a walk and
It's
just sit
great.
there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you see people there all the time. Boy, in the summer, they're up there barbecuing and staking out their spots early. So
Yeah.
it's a beautiful setting. So
Of course, we repaved. Many of you noticed the repaving of the rec path, the Summit County rec path between Town of Dillon and Summerwood. That's sort of an ongoing thing that we keep open in the winter. So we plow that segment of rec path. I'm sure many of you at home know that. If you didn't, go check it out. It's a great place to run and bike in the winter, when everything else is snowed in. Because we plow that section of rec path, it takes a beating. So that's something that we have to stay on top of in terms of repaving. It gets, how many cracks in it this summer, Tom? It's
300.
It's a
there
silly
were 300
number.
cracks repaired in that project of
In about-
various, some of them were major, some of them were fill-in. But,
Yeah.
Yep, 300. Dan went out and marked every one of them.
Yes, he
Hey,
did.
Louis, tell us about the disc golf course. And,
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
year and then for next year, obviously, too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, we had sort of our big opening summer at the Lake Dillon Disc Golf Course. It was a terrific season out there. We had a tournament out there with nearly 200 players, which was certainly our biggest day out there, but it was packed. It was very well received and a terrific addition to our town's parks and rec amenities. Of course, the Lake Dillon Disc Golf Course is located right out there, right next to the Dillon Cemetery, and it's just a spectacular spot. We just made a disc golf calendar, a nice big picture of.
Didn't know about that.
of Lake. It's in the mail. I don't have a copy of it yet. Otherwise, I'd have it right here showing it off. But no, it's an absolutely gorgeous course. It was very well received, and look forward to continued improvements out there. And hopefully, we have an annual tournament out there. I don't know why we wouldn't. It was again, very, very well received. And it's a tough course, but get out there and check it out. It's a lot of fun.
What improvements for this coming year? What are we thinking of?
We're hoping for signage this coming season. That's something that we're still hashing out. But yeah, signage would be the improvement that we'd be looking for out there. And then at that point, we're pretty well set up, as well as any disc golf courses. We already have concrete tee pads. We'll start messing around with alternate basket locations. So the baskets we have out there can be moved. Think in traditional golf when they move the hole placement, same idea. We can move those baskets around and change things up for folks. But it's it's been a terrific year out there, and look forward to seeing through the signage portion. That would really tie it all
I know
together.
you've worked hard on that project.
It's been fun.
We'll continue to work with our partners in getting this off the ground. In the beginning, with Denver Water and Summit County and the town of Dillon worked collaboratively, thanks to those two groups, for helping us put this together out there. They were very interested, and and they're good partners to have going forward. While I'm on that subject, we've partnered with them and with Denver Water and the county, and again the town of Dillon, and a group called Human Movement to bring a triathlon to the town of Dillon next September 10th, which it's going to be a half Ironman, and there'll be a quarter Ironman available too. And we're working on the bike ride routes right now. The swim will be in the lake, and the run will be out to the nature preserve, from Dillon out to the nature preserve and back, either once or twice, depending on
Your
what
tolerance
interest.
for pain.
Yes. So, as I've said before on this show, I'll be watching from the finish line. And but that's another great example of the partnership with Denver Water and the county. So
I like it because it's, don't get me wrong, but it's after Labor Day, extending our beautiful summer season. We all know what incredible weather is generally in place that time of year, and I'm not a swimmer per se, but the water temperature is still somewhat endurable that time of year.
Actually, we tested that, and they keep track of that water temperature. I don't know if it's daily or not, but we just saw a presentation on it. It's actually warmest
Late
in
August?
late August and early September.
Right.
It gets up to 66 degrees or
It's
so.
not warm.
Yeah.
Balmy
It's not warm.
66 degrees.
Well, I'm not going to be in it, so
You'll be at the finish line. I'll be at the start line watching, just watching. Next to the marina, obviously, I did mention that their revenues were up significantly this year due to a lot of hard work on their part. And they did purchase some new boats. They also, as we mentioned, got the parking lot all done this spring. And I think they're just finishing up some of the lighting accessories for parking lot lighting, which we're able to do. And of course, this spring, because of seasonal stuff, they were able to open, I think, 3 weeks earlier than they had planned, which I know takes a lot of work for staff to make that happen. And so that worked out fine. We are subject to the whims of Mother Nature when it comes to opening day at the marina. So for them to open early, I thought was a big deal. And then they also, I'm looking at my notes, sorry, but they also opened up or stayed open later on regular days during the summer, which again I thought was spectacular because the neighboring tiki bar there is open late. And there was some back and forth stuff. There were some retail things that went on there that I noticed several times that I think helped their bottom line also. Yep,
and so with the budget put to bed, we're just gearing up for next summer's events, which we'll have an exciting lineup, much like we had this year, only we're going to have, of course, our trademark concert series on Friday and Saturday night, and we'll continue to improve the level of talent that we bring to the amphitheater. So also we're working on a family-friendly event to backfill in the absence of the old barbecue that we used to have that the Rotary no longer does. That's an August type event, so we're going to take a look at that. So we're excited about what we've accomplished in 2015 and what we will accomplish in 2016. So I don't know if you guys have anything further to add?
No, looking forward to another great year in Dillon. It's been terrific, and we appreciate having all you folks come to town and join in our events, our concert series, or just go get a bite to eat at one of our restaurants. We appreciate everybody coming to town.
Okay.
It's been a great year.
Oh, and we're looking forward to a big ski season. Don't forget.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, actually,
Yeah.
in spite of the fact that there's not a lot that goes on at the amphitheater at this time of
No.
year, say, but the town is still quite busy with the restaurants, and the businesses do quite well in the
And all the
wintertime,
lodging, please come and stay in Dillon.
Slammed. Yeah.
Yep, so from us in Dillon to you folks out there, have a happy and safe holiday and a happy new year. Thanks.
Thanks.